In 1860, a group of men joined forces against the threat of invasion by Napoleon. These men were the country's sculptors, painters, architects and actors.
The young men really felt they needed to do something about Napoleon and his expansionist policies. And so they joined an organisation whose aim was not to be posted overseas, but if Napoleon should invade, then they would do what they could to slow down the rate of progress, the advance.
William Morris, Paul Nash and poet Wilfred Owen, who were all big names in the art world, all served in the regiment. Some of their work is on display at the Willis Museum in Basingstoke. The curator of the exhibition, Steve Marshall, showed me some of the pieces.
This is a painting by John Nash, who served with the Artist Rifles in the First World War, and this is actually a painting he did of the Artist Rifles in action. So he painted it and he served. This is the Artist Rifles making an attack near Cambrai in France in 1918. John Nash has wanted to paint an accurate picture of the action, and you can see there's blood on the snow. It's not romanticised in any way. He was actually there, took part in this action, so he really understood what was involved and wanted to try and get that across in his painting.
At the start of the First World War, the unit was the only one to have all its members present for mobilisation in August 1914. The members of the regiment had been marked out as officer material, and so around 50 men were sent to different units. But at the end of the First World War, the losses suffered by the regiment were huge. From the 15,000 men who enrolled, 6,000 were killed. Artist Paul Nash painted this in 1918 after the war had ended.
For him to go to the front and see how the land itself had been sort of mangled by this sort of mechanised warfare was almost as shocking for him as the sort of the human cost of the war. He's really tried to not romanticise this at all. You can see there's dead bodies that he's shown in the trench and beyond. You can see the tangle of the wire and the debris all around there. And Nash really wanted to get across just the horror of what it was like being in the front line.
After the Second World War, the regiment was disbanded, but 2 years later it was combined with the British Army's Special Air Service to become 2-1 SAS. Patrick Beattie is a former member of the unit. It was his idea to hold the exhibition.
It's that, dare I say, that quirky British notion of being sort of professional amateurs, of a group of people who have gathered together and they've managed somehow to work as a unit. They've had a strong sense of camaraderie and tradition. I think in many ways it sums up an aspect of our culture, our nation.
The exhibition will be at the Willis Museum until September, when it will move to the Gallery Museum in Gosport. Hannah Gurney, Forces News in Basingstoke.